Hello, we are from Quizzing Club of IIM Raipur to help you with your current affairs section in your PI preparation for your CAP interviews. Current affairs section is basically divided into 6 subsections, namely the political news, technology and environment, national news, international news, business and economics, and sports. Apart from these dynamic topics, one must be well versed with the static GK as well. Let's start with political news. You could read about the ruling parties domestically and of the major countries. Also, you could read about the upcoming election scheduled near the CAT dates. Also, you could read about any political upheaval if brewing in any country. One must be also well versed with the minister names of India. For the technology section, I would suggest to go for the major trends in IT sector, like the machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and also with the major terms, trending terms like the gig economy, moonlighting, attrition rates. As for the climate news, we would suggest you to go through the climate summits happening across to address the issue and also any initiatives taken by the government to mitigate the costs.
Coming to business section, since this is a BSchool interview, you are expected to have a fair awareness of business happenings in and around the world. Questions can be asked about business deals that happened recently and what is your take on them, or any major investments in your state. Just giving mere facts will not be enough. You need to back it up with some reasonable explanation. If you are asked about your opinion on them, and if you are someone with work experience, you can be expected to ask questions around your firm. It's not possible to cover everything under the sun, but make sure you do not miss the major happenings like the PVR and Inox merger, Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter, or the Adani NDTV takeover. To keep pace, I would recommend the Hindu Business Line or the Business Standard. Questions can also be sometimes very unexpected. Let's say you have mentioned gaming as a hobby. You could be asked about the Microsoft Activision deal. So expect the unexpected. Coming to economics, you need to keep track of the economics news. You need to be acquainted with the words like GDP, inflation rate, fiscal policies, etc. You have to read about what to expect in the next budget scheduled on 1st Feb 2023, and you can read on the looming recession and the impact and consequences of it on the global level.
Hi, I'll be taking you through the sports section of your interview prep. We can understand that there are a lot of candidates who do not really follow one or the other sports. So I guess for them it can be a little tricky, to answer such kind of questions in their interviews. In order to make it easier for you, we have bifurcated your interview prep into 2 basic categories. Number 1 is, for the people who do follow one or the other sports. So to them, we would advise that you should be well versed with the history of that sport, where it originated from, and different aspects of it. Other than that, you should also know about the recent events that were held relating to that particular sport, and also most importantly, you should be well versed about the recent championships relating to it. Second, we would categorize candidates who do not really follow any of the sports, and it is essentially a generalized category. So the candidates relating to category 1 can also go through it. For them, we would advise that you should read any of the newspaper, the sports section for the past month or so, go through the main championships of different sports and who won those championships. That's an important one. Apart from that, you should, since you are giving an interview for an IIM, so you should be well versed about the business aspect of different sporting events. In order to, go through that, you should know how different events impacted the economy, different events that came to the limelight. And I guess if you go through all of these points, you will be doing great in your interviews.
So let us start with the national news. Your national news for the interview rounds would be based on some popular or the recent news. For example, impact of COVID-19 on the Indian economy, or the inauguration of Kartavya Path, or INS Vikrant, or they may ask you about the 5G launch in India. As entering in the BSchool, you not only need to know about the domestic news but also be aware about the international news. So they can ask you about the current international news, and they can also ask for your opinion on these topics. You should also be aware about the current treaties or sanctions that are made, and also how they are impacting our country, India. You should also be aware about the summits that are going to happen in the near future, or that has happened in past 3 to 4 months.
Lastly, we would suggest you to consider the most important part of your interview prep, which is your resume. Go through it religiously. You should know each and everything that is mentioned on it, and you'll be good to go. All the best.